Hi, everybody. Thank you for being here. I want to welcome you to our very first Going Beyond the Scale, kind of what I'm calling 15 minutes of fit. Just to give you a little background, the idea behind these interviews, chats, conversations are really primarily with different members. And everybody here has an interesting story. We're all at different stages, especially this time of year, where we are on our health and wellness journey. And I wanted to be able to get everybody, it's like exercising a muscle. I want to really get people to see that, open up, share. If you don't want to, participate sometime in the future in one of the videos, that's fine. But what you're going to hear today in other videos and other times when people are posting, give, share, comment, let people know what you're thinking, any challenges. That's the purpose of what Going Beyond the Scale is all about. So today, I want to welcome our very first guest. Andrew Davis is from Gilbert, Arizona. Andrew, are you there?
Yes, thank you, Jay. Appreciate it.
Wait a minute. There he is. Okay, there he is.
Thank you, Jay.
You're very welcome. So there, as I mentioned to you, Andrew, there's three things I want to be able to kind of do in this 15 minutes. And the reason we're doing 15 minutes is that we really want to be able to give people an opportunity to kind of know your story, kind of digest it. And then also, hopefully, I'm going to ask people to kind of comment and continue the conversation after this as well. So that's one of the reasons why I want all these videos to be a little bit short. So primarily, what I want to talk about are the three things: your past, your present, and kind of what you're thinking about in the future. So I was very intrigued because what was your top weight when you started?
When I started my weight loss journey, my top weight was 160 pounds.
Okay. And even though it sounds like I'm concentrating on your size and your weight, what people will get, and even in this conversation, is Going Beyond the Scale is not about weight loss, but it's about really you making some changes so that what ends up happening is you're able to live a different type of a life. And I think what's great about it is you, like myself, you were large. It wasn't easy. You were large and in charge. And then something happened in your past when you started down the particular path. So you were at a particular size, but what was it that got you to start to think about maybe eating a little bit better, moving a little bit more, and getting where you're at this point in time?
Well, probably sometime in 2013, I want to say March is when I was almost at my biggest, about 240, and then eventually gained more weight. But what started that, it was trying to tie my shoe and not be able to tie it, having to breathe, suck it in, and having a hard time. And along came with that as eventually I had to put my foot on top of a chair to tie my shoe. And it was getting hard to breathe, and getting up from the couch and walking, it was getting hard. And,
yeah.
So, I had to make that decision, either keep living the way I am and die, or make that change. And, I chose to make that change.
And how old are you, Andrew?
I'm 41 now.
Okay. Did you have any at that time, and did you have any kind of challenging medical issues or anything like that, or you just were kind of overweight?
I'm just overweight. I was aware. So.
Okay.
And then next thing you know, I found myself in the gym, eating healthier, watching what I ate, and count my portion control.
Okay.
And once I got in the gym, it was more walking for 45 minutes first until I started seeing that weight going off, and then eventually I started running on the treadmill and lifting weights.
So. Okay. Now, you've run how many half marathons now?
So since February 2019, I have ran 6 half marathons and 1 5K.
Wow, that's great. That's great. And do you find, because people find different things. Some people like to run, some people like to walk, some people like to lift weights. Are you finding that for you, running is really something that you're motivated? Are you doing it because you really like it, or are you doing it because you feel like you need to do it?
I do, because I like it. I got that runner's bug my first half marathon.
That's great. That's great. When you were talking, I mean, obviously exercise is important. The main thing that really a lot of people sometimes forget is how you're eating really is the main driver. It's like 80 to 90% of it, because sometimes what people do is they will beat the hell out of themselves working out, and so they can eat anything they want. And you can eat more when you're doing that. But for yourself, do you cook? What do you do in terms of the world of food? What works for you?
Do a bit of both. When it gets to that time, I cook, and then when I gained weight since August
Mm-hmm.
Four.
Yeah.
I get pounds. I was 255 in that range, and depression set in, and I started emotionally eating myself to death, and I saw I was getting a problem.
Yeah.
Hit that button and then started over. So now I try to cook here in my house using the air fryer and a grill. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's a challenging time for most people right now. Is that it has been a tough year,
it has been.
And it's very normal. It's not unusual. The other part I will tell you, I've got a few years on you. I've got about 20 years on you, 22 years. It's not about staying at a one weight. It's really what I found is, depending on your body, your people are going to fluctuate 5, 10, 20 pounds. Okay. You got to do a lot to gain 20 pounds. Hey, look, I know what it's like. My top weight was 435 pounds. I know how to gain a ton of weight and how to lose a ton of weight. What I find is we all are going to go through stressful times, tough times, lose a job, lose a parent, lose something, whatever. The reason why I like these kinds of communities is that if you can just kind of hang in there and don't go and hide and just kind of open yourself up and share with other people, you can kind of stop it going from where you go from like 5, 10, 20 pounds to where you shut down, you hide, you feel uncomfortable. It's 40, 50, 60. I mean, it's tough. And so I think that's where I'm glad you also shared that about, the mental state, the stress state. I mean, that's one of the things I want to make sure that we have people, share and open up. It's not that you have to tell every single thing under the sun, but sometimes just to be able to take what's in your head and share it with others is extremely helpful.
Right.
So for you, with your past, you had a weight challenge. You started to see that you really enjoy running. You're doing some weight training. You're eating better. How are you as far as water is a very big part of it? Do you really pay attention to hydrating yourself at all or not?
I try to drink as much water as I can. I am on calorie counting right now, so that helps out. And I have a fitness coach as well right now too. And what I'm doing right now is I just did a health assessment yesterday.
Okay.
With a lady here that offered my brother's work some health plans and stuff like that, and I was excited to do that.
Yeah.
To find out what my body fat was and all that stuff, and then see what I gained from it, and then start a eating health plan with that.
Yeah.
But now I've devoted this year to myself, take care of myself physically, emotionally, spiritually, and also to live a better, healthier lifestyle, to become a better me.
Yeah.
And begin with that is, like you said, I got to start watching what I eat and eating healthier.
Yeah.
But I'm going to do.
I'm glad to hear you're looking in the body composition part. That's one of the other parts when I call this going beyond the scale. I mean, I do a lot of body composition analysis with people. I've probably done about 5,000 analysis with people. And the reason why is because a regular bathroom scale it drives us crazy because our body, because of water, our body's about 60% water, hormones, stress level, cortisol. Our body weight every single day fluctuates a lot. Now, and the other thing that happens is when somebody exercises like yourself, especially if you're a runner, if you have a body composition analysis and you start losing weight, you will also, not bad, you will lose muscle because typically what happens when people do more cardio, they will lose muscle. And so a lot of times it's helpful to get a body composition analysis and see where you're at. It's not that it's good or bad. You just kind of need to know where you're tracking. And everybody's body's different. There's not an exact, it has to be this way or that way or whatever. So I'm glad to hear that you're doing that. And I think what you're going to find from a medical perspective and trainers, that's the other thing I will tell you. I did learn that on Biggest Loser. You need others in your life besides yourself. That's why this community is helpful. That's why the people that are in your community where you live are helpful. And the most successful people that I've met are people that connect to others, stay open and in a conversation. And not only when you're feeling good. I mean, that's great. It's great when you're feeling really good, but it's really critical, game changer, when you're willing to be open, be vulnerable, be transparent, and say, you know what? My head has not been there. I haven't run for a week. I don't want to run. I've lost my, there are times that that's going to happen. And what happens is when you tell people that, a lot of times it'll come out of your head and all of a sudden it's no longer has you, and you actually kind of can get back on track. And it might be you only just start walking again. It's one of those things that I want people to know. It's normal. We all have it happen. And when we see happy-go-lucky people all the time, we think online, it's not always truthful. And that's what I really want people to be really honest with themselves and share. You don't have to be a Debbie Downer, but you need to be able to share when you're having a tough time. Do you think, is there anything that you have from what you've had this, you know what you do well, where you've had some challenges. Is there anything that concerns you that you feel like, if this happens, I'm going to go backwards. I'm going to fall apart. I'm going to go back and gain all my weight back and go. Is anything that's in your head that's kind of lurking out there?
Not right now. It's just, like I said, depression will do it too. Set me in the motion of eating bad and that way back. So I got to watch that. And I got to understand if I do go into a depression, to talk about, like you said, let someone know, hey, I'm not feeling good. And this will happen if I continue to do that. What can I do? Be accountable, have that accountability.
Yeah.
It's a big part.
I didn't mention this to you at all, but is there something that you would like to ask me? Is there a question or something that you're curious about? Or maybe you've seen something somebody's talked about in the group, or you've read something. Is there anything that I can help you with at all?
Not right now. I think.
Okay.
Good.
Okay.
If something comes up, I'll hit you up.
Yeah. And that's the thing that's important too, because you never know at what point in time there's something. And there's a lot of things that I do know about, but I will not tell you something that I don't know. And a lot of times I'll connect people with other resources and things. That's what I really want people to see, is this kind of a place, a resource center for people to ask those questions. In kind of wrapping this up, what do you have in mind? You've been successful. You've had challenges. Welcome to being a human being. Mm-hmm. But going forward in the next year or a few years, is there a challenge you want to do? Is there something that you want to accomplish? Is there something that you're working towards?
Between 2022 and 2023, I want to run my full marathon.
Okay.
And then at the age of 45, I also want to do 40K or 50K. Okay.
That's great. That's great. You'll love. I've done two marathons. It really rewires your brain, because it really makes you realize you can do a lot more than you ever thought you could. Mm-hmm. And you've seen that in terms of your training and what you're doing overall. So I find that running tends to really make people feel powerful and comfortable with their accomplishments, more sometimes than just, nothing wrong with going to the gym, but a lot of times there's something about distance and seeing, what you can accomplish, a tough challenge, or some of the things like they have, like the Tough Mudders and the other things along that line are things you can do as well. So, that's something to consider.
Yeah.
So one of the things that in kind of wrapping this up with people, what I'd love you to be able to do, Andrew's been generous in sharing what he's doing and how he's made this transformation where he's at this point in time. One of the things I always try to get people to do, and you can do it today if you've really gotten something from Andrew, in the comments, share what your thoughts were, something that he said, something that really landed for you, that helped you. If you have questions, more detailed questions or things, please comment and do that, because that's what this is about. This is really, if I had to say what my role is here, is to get people to exercise their thinking, their sharing. You guys can, what to do as far as eating, how to we all know what to do. It's all out there. But I think that having a safe place mm-hmm. to be able to share with other people is going to make a difference. So please reach out to Andrew.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes, please reach out. I will try to answer you the best I can.
Okay, great. So anyway, thank you everybody for being here. Thank you for your generosity of time. Tag You're All It. Please continue to participate. Let people know, friends, families, others. The larger we grow the community, the more we all learn and we get better at what we want to do. So thank you until we do this again, and we'll see you guys all soon. Thanks again, Andrew.
Appreciate it.